Ron. Obviously, you've been able to work with the guys last week, worked with them this week. Any improvements, any different change of energy? What have you liked that you've seen the last couple of days from this group?
I've been very pleased. I really have. We when we got into week 5 of the OTAs was first opportunity for us to get on the field with them. And then week 6 was the first time was an opportunity for us to do be a little competitive. And I really love their attentiveness. Their recall was very good. And then coming into this week, Tuesday was a little sluggish coming off the 4-day break. But they finished strong yesterday. And then today they started fast and finished fast. I was very pleased with it. They really are. Had to try and tone them down a little bit. They're getting a little excited. But it's good to see them be competitive, but we just got to be smart because we really don't want to get anybody hurt out here.
A little fun question for you. I know you were at the Wizards game the other night, and a big talking point across the sports world is fan behavior. You were there when the fan ran onto the court. Just kind of want to get your thoughts on, I guess, number one, the tackle by the security guard, and number two, just the generic notion of fan behavior kind of going a little crazy here.
Well, it was a heck of a tackle, first of all. I thought he formed up nice, dropped his hips, bent knees, kept his head up and drove through the tackle. He defended that baseline very well. We've considered reaching out, but we're not there yet. So we're good with that. It is a little bit of craziness from what I've seen has gone on. And it's tough because the NBA players are so close. The fans are so close. You can reach out and truly touch them. And that's tough on those guys. Those guys are very competitive basketball players. Are trying to keep themselves focused on their game, and to have some of the fans react the way they are, that's kind of disappointing. Because again, to me, the truth of the matter is, the ticket gives you the opportunity to come in and you can cheer or you can boo. But let's don't get belligerent. Let's don't get nasty, and let's don't do something that could be construed as dangerous towards a player, because those guys are really doing the best they can.
Thanks, Ron.
All righty.
Hey, Ron, it's Heather. The fact that you just broke down that tackle is tremendous. And I'm sure the writers were going to kill me, but I did have one more Wizards question. Seeing as you were at the game and they are on the brink of elimination tonight, Matt Paris might like this since he covers and Ben Standing, since they cover every team under the sun. What advice do you, in those moments, what advice do you give to those players in those, if you were a Scott Brooks in that do or die situation? And what did you see from the team on the brink of elimination the other night?
Well, I love their competitive spirit, the way they came out and fought. They played very physical. The referees let them play physical. And that would be my approach as a team. I'd go out there and continue to play physical and see what happens. That was cool. I really loved their energy. I thought Coach really got them going. I thought he had them in the right direction. The thing that I love about their situation is they don't have to. This is all about what they want to do. If they want to win, they can go out there and give it their best and see what happens. But Philly's kind of in that position where they have to, they must, they got it. There's a lot more pressure on Philly than there is on Washington, as far as I'm concerned, because nobody expected Washington to be where they are. I believe Westbrook willed them into the playoffs, and he's played hard. Beal's played hard. That whole team has played hard, and they should be commended for the way they came out in Game 4 and played as physical as they did and got themselves a win at home.
Westbrook's pretty good for a UCLA guy, yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow. Courtney reminds me of it every day.
Thanks, Ron.
All right.
Hi, Ron. Are you able to shed any light on what was going on with Sadiq Charles and Curtis Samuel and Taylor Heineke, the guys that weren't working today but were out there?
Yeah, with Sadiq, we're still monitoring him. He's coming off that season-ending surgery he had, so we're still monitoring him. He practiced a day or two in a row, and then we'll give him a day off. There's no issue there. Curtis is dealing with a little twinge he has on his groin, so we're just trying to be smart with him and keep an eye on him as well. That shouldn't be an issue. Who was the other one? I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind. Taylor. Taylor caught an elbow on just above the eye during an installation period when we were walking through, and the back overemphasized the pocket in which to put it, and he put the elbow up a little bit high, and Taylor leaned in with his head and he nicked him just above it, and unfortunately he got a little gash and had to get stitches. So he looks like a boxer right now. So until we can put a helmet on him safely, we won't have him out there. He's out there wearing a ball cap. He's involved in everything. It's just unfortunate. It was just one of those accident things. And it was one of those toned down walkthrough periods. And the back, like I said, was just overemphasizing the pocket in which for the quarterback to stick the ball in. And like I said, Taylor leaned in and he caught the elbow. So, yeah, that was a little unfortunate.
Thanks, Ron.
Hey there, Ron. Real quick, Jack just mentioned that he just wants to see these guys come out and work hard. And he mentioned that when he was with Denver, he saw Peyton Manning 20 years in taking notes still. Is there any guys that have just come out and you see the notepads already, or guys that you just see are already putting that effort in and, maybe they're 10 years in?
Yeah, we're seeing that, which is really, like I said, I've been really pleased with what we've got the last 2.5 weeks. And I think the thing that is happening is we're getting the things done that we need to have done. Looking at all of our installation plans that we have, we've gone through those, watching the guys, and the nice thing is because some of the protocols have been relaxed, we've had a little bit more interaction with the players and you really see their attentiveness. And that's been a huge plus and has been very positive as far as I'm concerned and very happy with it. I mean, you watch guys like Brandon Scherf, who's out there and when he's getting his reps, he's giving his all. I mean, that's just him. And he's one of the guys that, we're trying to tempo down a little bit because he's working so hard. Watching Ryan Fitzpatrick, here's a guy that comes in and he's learning another new offense. He's already got it. He's a veteran guy, very bright, very smart football player. And you see him helping the young wide receivers. Like today, Diami was running a route and he had gone up to Diami and explained to him, hey, look, think about this. You see this. Tempo it down over here and I'll throw you open. So that's great. I mean, that really is. And it's exciting when you see that happening with the veteran players and the young players.
Hey, Ron, you guys hired Dr. Roberts to be the mental health point person in the building. How does that fit in with your overall approach and strategy here that you're trying to bring into the building?
Well, I think it's important, especially in light of mental health. Naomi Osaka has made a stand and I got a tremendous amount of respect for that. But, I really do appreciate the Snyders seeing the importance of making sure that we are proactive with our players' mental health. Hiring Dr. Roberts is a boon as far as I'm concerned, because that's a big part of it. There's a lot of things that these young athletes are dealing with, both on and off the field. And we want to make sure that we want to shine as much positivity on them going forward. There's a lot of people that are demanding of these young people. They have a lot of responsibilities and they need to have somebody to help them cope with it, then so be it. But like I said, I really do appreciate, the Snyders for helping us to be proactive on this and allowing us to do this, wanting us to do this. This to me is very important, very vital to our organization as we go forward. I think this is another thing that's going to help us take another step in the right direction as the football team is concerned.
Appreciate that. And then in the roundup, you mentioned Jonathan Allen. Is that injury or just voluntary?
It's a voluntary situation, and again, these are all voluntary. We appreciate the guys coming. He's been in contact with his position coach. So, at least we know, and that's important. And I really do appreciate the guys being here.
Thank you.
Hey, Ron, just wanted to talk about Antonio Gibson and Logan Thomas. It's obvious that they're kind of the top dogs going through reps and being out there with the starters. What's a reasonable level of improvement expectation for them, considering last year there was no offseason for Gibson and he's converting from wide out to running back?
Well, first of all, he's a football player. And I think, the adjustment for him is really just learning the basic dynamics of his position, understanding, what his aiming points are once he gets the ball in his hand for certain runs, what he's looking for certain runs, when to make that cut or when to press the hole, when to anticipate the hole opening up. Those are all little things that he'll learn with the more reps he gets. And that's probably the biggest thing, JP. The expectations is for him to take another big step. He took a tremendous step last year, was a scoring machine for us in terms of, when we got close to the red zone, he was able to put the ball in the end zone for us. So I do anticipate him taking another big step.
And then similarly with Logan?
Yes. I don't know if you were out there to see the one-handed catch he made out here in the red zone, but it was pretty impressive. And not just his physical skills as far as his position is concerned, but his mental part of it, just getting the sense that he really is starting to take what we're doing offensively and his knowledge of the game and using it to help himself understand how to do things better. That's the other part that I can anticipate improving as far as Logan is concerned.
Thanks, Ron.
All righty, JP.
We'll go Ben, Matt Paris, and Kime.
I can go if Ben's not on. Hey, Ron, you gave up the second most sacks in the league last year. How much of that contributed to your decision to kind of remake the offensive line this year?
Well, I think one of the things that we looked at as far as the offensive line was concerned was how can we get better? How can we get better going forward as far as the future is concerned for a period of time? And one of the things that we talked about too was working to improve the depth. That is another thing that we really looked at. We feel that we've done that. We've got some good young players that are going to be guys that eventually will transition to bigger roles for us. But right now, we're really pleased with the position flex that we have from a lot of our young players. I think wanting to remake it and create a competitive atmosphere is a big part of what we did.
Hey, Ron. With regards to Jamin Davis, it's now.
And then when you get sort of sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Matt.
Okay, so I just had a quick follow on that one, but I wanted to ask about Sam Cosmi. When you release Morgan Moses, just what kind of vote of confidence does that give in Cosmi? Obviously, you drafted him in the second round, but to at least give him the opportunity to compete and legitimately compete, I guess.
Well, I think what it really shows is that we have a tremendous amount of confidence in a number of our players and guys that we like, not just Cosmi. I think that's the thing we got to understand. We want to, say, okay, we drafted Cosmi. We do want him on the field, but we'll put him on the field when we get him there, when he earns that opportunity. Cornelius Lucas is a guy that we're taking a nice, hard, long look at. That's going to be a very competitive position going into training camp. And we're going to play the best guy, the guy that gives us the best chance to win, just so everybody knows. I mean, Cedric Charles is having a really good camp. And he's another guy that's going to be very, very competitive for us. So, again, going forward, there's nothing set in stone. I mean, a lot of these positions will be competitive. I mean, every position has an opportunity to have a different player start for the most part. There's a couple that are pretty solid, though, and I'm not going to lie to you about that.
Thank you.
Hey, Ron. With regards to Jamin Davis, it's second OTA, third session with the coaching staff, including the rookie camp. What are you kind of seeing that he's building one session on top of the other? Where are you kind of seeing some potential growth from him just over these few weeks?
Well, the first thing is, and you guys, I think you guys know, we started him out at the Mike position, giving him an opportunity to see if he can handle the middle linebacker responsibilities. And he's taking that. He's calling the huddles right now. He's setting the fronts for us. He's helping with the checks. So he's learning that part. Every practice seems to be an improvement for him as far as, that part of it. His physical attributes, his physical talents, it's honing him and getting him to understand how to read his keys, how to react on his keys, how to react, to what our opponents are trying to do. In practice, he's reading our offensive line. He's looking at the blocking schemes, and he's trying to fit his run gaps. In coverage, he's trying to understand and get a good feel for where his drops are in zone coverages. How does he match his coverages? And man coverage is about his techniques and understanding which sides are his leverage side. So he's done a nice job. You do see the improvement every day, and it's exciting to watch the growth. That's one thing that I'm very pleased with.
And with regards to the defensive line, still no Chase Young, but you do get Montez Sweat back. But without Chase, the other defensive end, it's a guy out there who probably is not going, wouldn't start obviously normally. What have you seen out of the younger guys with these opportunities to play? And have you guys moved any closer in your head, do you think, to possibly bring in a veteran here at some point?
I think they've done a great job. I really do. I think the young guys that are competing right now are very competitive guys. And it's good to see them get these opportunities. Montez being back yesterday and today, watching him out on the field has been really good. He's done a great job in his off-season workouts on his own. He came right back in and picked up right where he left off. Coming off the ball hard and working hard. That was really good to see. But those other young guys have done a great job. They really have. And I think it's just about, taking advantage of when you get a chance to get a lot of work. And that's what our guys are doing now. And they should be commended for coming in and giving us their all.
Go Kime, Sam, and then Pete.
Hey, Ron, with Curtis Samuel, when you have a guy who's that versatile, what kind of pressure, how much pressure does that put on a defense just to know where the guy is and what he's going to do?
Well, the first thing you got to do is, like you said, you got to know what personnel grouping the offense is in and where he's lined up. If he's an outside player, if he's playing the X or the Z, you say, okay, we can account for him here. Now all of a sudden he's in the slot. Now it's a whole nother thing because, do you like the matchup? Is the nickel capable of covering more? If he's in the slot, is that a linebacker over him? Now he motions across the formation. Now we got to be ready for the jet sweep, or we got to be ready for some sort of pulling trap, something up inside, because Curtis has the ability to run inside as well. So there's a lot of variables that come into trying to scout, prepare for multi-positional players like a Curtis Samuels.
And obviously you guys know him, having coached him for a while, and he was away for you guys for a year. How much do you guys talk to him too about where he now feels most comfortable running from? And is there any danger to moving him around a guy too much?
I don't think there's any danger moving him around too much. The thing that I really do appreciate when you watch a guy like that, and then you get an opportunity to break down his stats, and you see that, on the field, his production is off the charts. When the ball in his hands, his production is tremendous. So the thing we got to do is make sure we have him on the field, and then we got to make sure he's got an opportunity to touch the ball, because the analytics show that this is the guy that you've got to have be a big part of your offense.
Got time for two more.
Hey, Ron, we saw Steven Montez in some non-quarterback drills today, and I guess I was wondering how that fits into maybe the broader vision of how you guys see him moving forward.
Well, the thing that we got to look at is going forward is again, with this whole COVID situation, we're not out of COVID. That's the thing everybody's got to understand. And that's why we're hoping for guys to get vaccinated, because, Steven does have his vaccination. Steven did have COVID a year ago. So you couple that with the vaccination, and I guess, as the science says, he's super protected. So he's a guy that could help us in more positions than one if something were to happen. And if you get a contact tracing on some players at a specific position, and Steven knows what to do, and if he's not active initially, he could be active. So that's kind of the thought process behind Steven. And he's not the only guy that we're looking at as far as the position flex is concerned. We've got a few other guys that we've said, hey, this guy makes the 53. He may not be active this week, but he may have a chance if something crazy were to. I mean, you've got to prepare for those circumstances, because again, we are not out of COVID, and that's why I believe we're stressing that if we can get to 85%, we can get that herd immunity. We can let our guards down a little bit, but we're not letting them down right now. So we're preparing for situations where we go into the season and we may have to, and so we're looking at a lot of these things, a lot of these possibilities. And it may play into the factor of why you keep guys and you can't keep other guys. I hate to say it, but that's a real concern.
Last one.
I know punt returner was a spot you were a little bit perturbed about last year. What options do you have there this year, and how do you feel about the group overall?
Well, it's a good group, and we got a lot of options. I think we made some decisions in the offseason to bring certain types of players in, and I think the biggest thing that we got to look at is who's a guy that can be dynamic and be part of what we're doing going forward. Deandre Carter is a guy that we went out last year and brought in. He's got some very good punt return skills. He's a guy that we like. Obviously Steven Sims is a guy that's a dynamic. You guys have seen him before in the past. Dax Millen is a kid that did it in college and has shown the aptitude, especially during the rookie camp, we had him catch some punts, did a nice job. So we are looking, we're going to try and exhaust every one of our opportunities to see who's going to be the best guy. And, Danny Johnson did it for us last year and was a very safe option at times. And he still was dynamic as a kick returner as well. So we've got good options that at least we feel we do, and I think we can be good at it going forward.